All right, good evening, everyone. First of all, tonight we have our building corporation meeting. So for that, I'm going to turn it over to Dennis.
Thank you. Good evening, members of the board. And is this our building corporation board members right here?
It is.
All right. All right. So we've got Josh and Ishmael.
That's correct.
All right. And is Lois not here this evening, or
She could not make it this.
Okay. Okay. Well, we have a quorum, and that's what we need. And you guys, unless you want to change officers, I just suggest we keep them the same. Our last building corp deal, Ishmael was the president and Josh was the secretary treasurer, which works out real well. And if you guys are okay with that, we can just stick with that.
Fine with me. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we have two resolutions for you tonight to act on. And you've probably heard that the school's in the process of authorizing bonds in the amount not to exceed $2.6 million to provide additional funding for school improvements. And we've got some information we're hearing tonight that as the building corporation, much like we've done previously, the bonds will be issued through the building corporation. And then the building corporation technically owns the school buildings and leases those to the school corporation that makes the payment on the bonds. But we're working with Mike as financial advisor to kind of guide us through the finance process, and we're covering all the statutory bases here. But one of those is as the building corporation getting your approval of a couple of resolutions. And I'm gonna hand these to you. I've got two of them tonight, and these will be all the resolutions you need to adopt. But if you will all recall, the last time, once we get through the approval process and the bonds get issued, a fair amount of documentation for you all to sign. And I can tell you, it's going to be very similar to what we did in the thing one, so no surprises by any means. But I'll talk through these resolutions with you real quick. If you have any questions on any of this, let me know, and Mike and I can try to answer them as best we can. The first resolution is here we go. First resolution that I've got this one right here, guys. It's this one right here.
Yes.
This one is approving the form of the amendment to the lease. So right now there's a lease agreement between the building corporation and the school corporation. And we've amended that each time that we've done a project or we've done a refunding. So all we're doing here is saying, hey, there's a desire to move forward with the project. You can see we've got it described there in the first paragraph. And that to do this, we're going to approve a form of Fourth Amendment to lease. We've got a copy of that here this evening. And that you're preliminarily approving the issuance of $2.6 million of bonds to fund the project. So that's the first resolution. And then the second resolution is, we call it the bond resolution. This is the one that kind of formally authorizes the issuance of the bonds not to exceed $2.6 million. And it approves some of the financing documents we've got here tonight, just the forms of them. A fourth supplemental indenture, and again, that's a supplement to the existing trust indenture. You've got the other bonds issued under. Approves an offering document if we go that route, or Mike may tell us, well, maybe it makes more sense just to go directly to the bank, and we have that authorization as well. And then it approves a form of bond purchase agreement, and it approves the acceptance of any construction contracts for the project and reimbursement of any expenses the school may have paid for this from the bond proceeds when they come out. And then it also authorizes you, both of you, to take any actions or sign any documents necessary afterwards to kind of implement the bond. So that's kind of like the closing certificates and things like that. But what we're looking for tonight is you to vote and approve each of these, and I'll get signed copies if that's okay with you. And I'm going to ask you if you're okay with it. I've got the form of the Fourth Amendment to the lease I'd like you to sign, and I'm just gonna hold it in my pocket. We don't have that really dated till August 25th, because we have to get through a 30-day remonstrance period. But that'll kind of save us the trouble if you're okay with it, with Jamie having to kind of track you down. But any questions on anything I've said so far?
I don't have any questions.
Okay. Why don't we start then with this one here. This is the one that approves the lease.
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution adopting the lease.
I'll second that.
You say all in favor, take a vote.
Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we've got that. I'm gonna hand you this one too. So you can take that sign. And Jamie, if it's okay with you, I'll take these originals. I'll do scans and get them to you tomorrow. Okay, so our next resolution to consider is the one approving the issuance of the bonds in the forms of financing documents. So if we can do the same thing.
I'll make a motion to approve that motion or resolution as well.
I'll second that. Vote, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed?
I'm gonna grab my lease agreements here. I'm a notary, so I'll take care of notarizing things. Let's see. Sign right there, Secretary Treasurer. President, there. All right. Well, that does it, guys. If you have any questions or anything, just let Jamie or Trevor know. They can get in touch with Mike and I, but we'll be in touch.
Just clarification, the August 25th document is what?
That
The
is,
action relative to the document?
this is the amendment to the lease agreement.
Okay.
It sort of bakes in a lease payment schedule for the bonds. And we don't get that signed until we run a 30-day objecting period.
Okay, I just
So,
wasn't clear what it was.
yeah, and what we'll do is we'll get a certificate from the auditor basically saying, yeah, not received.
And that is the next school board meeting? Is that the next school board meeting, August 25th?
Doesn't really tie with the school board meeting necessarily, but it's probably pretty darn close.
Yeah, ours is on the 18th.
Okay. 18th.
Yeah. But we'll find out, we'll get an auditor
Okay, yeah.
certificate, and then what I'll do is I'm gonna ask
Plans.
the board president and secretary to sign it tonight too, and I'm just gonna keep it in my pocket, that we don't have to come back down to get it signed. And, but it's part of our process for the bond stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Well, do we want to go into the school board actions then? Trevor, is that okay?
We need to close out this part, corporation meeting.
I think so. I don't have any further actions for the building corp unless you or others do.
So they motion to close that meeting.
I think, is that an action item or we just say it's closed?
I'd just say it's closed.
All right.
Okay. Meeting is closed, the corporation meeting. Next is the preliminary determination and 1028 hearings. That's you, Dennis.
Yes, it is. We actually technically we have 3 hearings tonight. But we can kind of all do them as one because they're all kind of the same thing. You might recall at the last board meeting, we had the first preliminary determination hearing, which we're required to do because of the size of this bond issue and the tax rate of the school corporation. And Mike eloquently kind of provided some of the financial information and had an information worksheet. We have that same information tonight, so we'll want public comment on that if there is any, an opportunity to speak. That's the second preliminary determination hearing. We also have what we'll call the 1028 hearing, and you've probably heard of this before. Some people call it the project hearing. But anytime any school does a financing that's in excess of $1 million, you have to do what's called a 1028 hearing. And so we'll count the hearing as well for that. And then this Fourth Amendment to lease that we just had executed, we got to have a hearing on that one as well. So we're covering that as well. In terms of the information that's provided for each of those, it's all kind of covered with what we've done with the preliminary determination. So I don't think we need to regurgitate any of that information, but we should probably get that taken care of first, open the hearing, see if there's any comment, and close it. And then we can move on to the resolution items.
Okay. So we'll open that preliminary determination hearing first, then you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we could just say, we're opening the hearings for the preliminary determination 1028 and lease hearing.
We're opening the hearing for the preliminary, the 1028, and the release hearing.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It doesn't sound like we've got any public comment. I'd say we could probably go ahead and close it then.
We need to go over what our project is up to 2.6 million, and we're using it for parking lot improvements. So there'll be HVAC improvements, middle high school roof, which was really tested over the weekend, had a lot of rain. Also, new lockers in the middle high, and improvements at the elementary school and outdoor athletic facilities. I'm sorry, I just want to say this is replacing debt that has fallen off, and this is basically tax neutral. In fact, our tax rate is probably going to go down a little bit from where it is at this moment. So, okay, go ahead.
Okay. Wait,
Regal gym upgrade?
Yeah, it's part of the elementary.
Part of the elementary, okay.
Yes.
but if we've got the public hearings closed then, which I think we do, we can move on now to the resolutions.
Okay.
And I have 3 of them for you tonight. Now, I'll kind of approach you here, and I've got copies, and maybe you've got them in your packet or not. But the first one we have here, let's do this one first. This is the preliminary determination / 1028 resolution. And we had this one available at your last meeting. It's not changed at all. But this is the one that requires both those public hearings and the 1028 hearing. So what we'll want to do is get a motion on that one to approve that resolution, if you don't have any questions.
Any questions? I get a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion.
Kathy,
I'll second.
Michael, all in favor? Motion carries 4-0.
And I'll want to get, if you all wouldn't mind taking one of those and just circulating it around so I can get a signed copy before we leave.
Okay. Any particular place or?
Oh, yeah, I'm on the last page, we've got a
What's your name?
Oh, that's it.
spot set up there for your
You
signature.
did online. No, that was from last month.
Okay. And while we're getting that one signed, I'm going to hand this next resolution out. Sorry. So this is the resolution to execute the lease amendment, and you probably heard me talking with the building court members about their resolution, so to just consider this one a companion to that resolution. It does the same thing.
No.
Okay,
It's a separate one.
This
this is the second.
Mhm.
This resolution says that, we've done the public hearing and you find a need for the lease amendment and you find the rentals fair and reasonable. And just as a reminder, the lease rental payment schedule here is going to perfectly align with the bond amortization schedule. Plus a little bit of extra to cover trustee fees, and we'll coordinate with Mike on that, but it's all pretty standard stuff. So if there aren't any questions, we look for a motion to adopt that resolution.
So I need, any questions first of all? Need a motion to adopt it.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Let's see, okay, that one's going around. Okay, now I got the last one here for you. Got a lot of paper tonight. But this, the good news is, guys, barring any unforeseen circumstances, this will be our last sort of board meetings on this. This will take care of everything, and we'll kind of get through our remonstrance period and then be on track with our schedule here to get the bond. So this is a companion resolution to the building corp resolution that was just adopted. This is the school corporation consenting more or less to the issuance of the building corporation, to the issuance of the bonds for 2.6 million, and then also approving the same set of form of financing documents that we have over here on the table. And we do that because the school is going to be a party to some of those documents. And we also, just as a practice matter, when we go to the marketplace, we want the investors to know that not only has the building corp approved these things, the school board as well. So they've all been blessed by everyone that needs to bless them. But happy to answer any questions, and if they're not, we'd want a motion to adopt this resolution.
Any questions? Look for a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll make that motion.
Michael,
I'll second.
Kathy, all in favor? 4-0.
Okay. So we're through that, and then just housekeeping matters. Jamie, I've got a notice, which I have a couple of notices that I will send to her, and I'll copy you and Trevor on it, mine, so we're in the loop to get those published. I'll start our 30-day period, and once we kind of get through that, then, we can get the lease executed. We'll have another notice to publish for that, but it's kind of perfunctory at that point. And then, Michael do his thing with the bonds, and we'll be getting pretty close to when we sell the bonds. We're staying on track with our schedule. I don't see anything really changing. Obviously, keep an eye on interest rates. I don't know, Mike, if you got any commentary on that, but I think they've been somewhat stable, and hopefully they go down a little bit. And I don't know if you got any thoughts there, Mike.
Well, we always hope they go down. If you sold bonds today, you would most likely sell at between 4 and 4.5%. Hopefully lower. So we have set, as part of the maximum bond parameters, we've set a maximum rate of 6%. And that is just a high and conservative rate, because that is what the documents call for, a max rate. But we can't make that too high in case the bond market experiences difficulty, or in case investors, for whatever reason, feel as though they can't find solid ground. But that is worst case scenario. I would like to think that around 4% and maybe up to 4.5% would be your interest rate. So we're 7 or 8 weeks away from selling bonds. Once we get through the remonstrance period, and once we get the lease executed, after those two big events on the timetable, we can sell bonds. So I wish I could tell you, but I really feel that these are good. It's we're hoping that rates don't go up, and maybe they go down. So this is what excuse me, sir, this is what I say with regard to interest rate all the time. So,
When does that rate get locked in?
the rate gets locked the day we sell bonds, the day we reach an agreement with the purchaser, And that is the same day as the BPA, or the bond purchase agreement, gets signed by the building corporation and the purchaser. So that is the rate lock day, or the day we sell bonds. And then approximately 3 weeks after that, 3 weeks after the sale date, when we lock the rate, that is when closing will take place. And that is when all of your funds for your projects will be available at the trustee bank. So, and that sale date, I believe the timeline indicates it's in mid to late September.
That's right. Yeah, it's in my stack up there somewhere, but,
Well, it's right here on
oh,
top.
there you go. Yeah.
I'm gonna go through Dennis's
Take a
things.
peek there. Nothing's changed, Mike. It'll be on the second page, I think.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, we have the closing scheduled for September 30. Okay, so that would indicate that 3 weeks prior to that, we will have locked the interest rate or sold bonds. So mid-September. And I'm more than happy to go through the financial parameters with you again. It is the same information that I presented to you at last month's hearing. But as long as I'm standing here, just a few of those highlights are, as Dennis indicated, and as you all know, max project amount of $2.6 million. When you, or after you have paid your costs of issuance, your legal fees, your financial fees, the purchaser fee, the trustee bank fee, filing fees, advertising fees, after you pay all those costs, which should total around $100,000, that'll leave you with $2.5 million for all of your hard and soft construction costs, the costs of bricks and mortar, and the costs of your project. Max lease term is 20 years, although you won't take near that long to pay this. It'll be more like half that. Max annual payment is $500,000 in any year. Max rate is 6%. And those are basically the highlighted parameters, maximum parameters for the bond issue. And I'm happy to elaborate or dive into that deeper with you if you'd like.
Hey, Mike, one thing I guess we ought to comment on is when we get that time for pricing, if things are going wonky in the marketplace, it doesn't mean, does it, that we have to price the bonds in? We can kind of push pause and sort of, if something crazy happens and we want to push pause, we can do it. It's just so long as we get these bonds issued by the end of the year. Is that right?
That is right, and that's a great point. So 2 things there. What Dennis has pointed out is that if the bond market, if it fails to find solid footing, or if rates should go up, basically, if investors get nervous and they're not real interested in purchasing bonds in mid-September, we can just delay the bond sale. This timeline is a guideline, and it happens a lot that, the day we sell bonds is a different day from what a timeline indicates. This is a good timeline, but we can delay the bond sale if the interest rate isn't where we think it should be. An example of that is, if we delayed, we would simply come back at a later date, when when things have settled down in the bond market. And then another component that's somewhat related to that, we would like to wait until the school corporation gets its new assessed valuation to sell bonds. Because if we know what your 2026 net AV is going to be, it makes it a little easier to set the payment amount for the bonds for next year. So you all know, we're unsure of what AV will be doing in the coming years. Senate Bill 1 is the primary reason for that. But if we can wait until you get your new AV certified by the DLGF, it does make it easier to set the lease payment for next year. It's not entirely critical that we do wait. If your AV release, if the release of your AV gets delayed, we can still sell bonds before it comes out, but ideally we'd like to wait. So, but that's a great point. And again, if I can kind of drill down a little deeper on that, I'm happy to. But that's what it looks like.
Any further questions?
I think so.
All right.
Good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
Good to
guys.
see you guys.
Yep, too. We'll close those hearings and switch over to regular scheduled board meeting. Thank you. Let's start with the action rise for pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Recognition of visitors present who are not on the agenda. Does anybody have anything they want to bring forward? All right, I'll meeting to order then. First thing up is the approval of minutes for the June 23rd, 2025 regular meeting. Any motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Kathy,
I'll second.
Casey, all in favor? 4-0. Next is claims number 9230 through 9325 for the month received, either rejected or approved for payment. Any questions on those claims? Any motion to approve?
I'll make that motion.
Casey,
I'll second.
Kathy, all in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Next is business report. Turn over to Mr. Parks.
First of all, fund report, fund statement, as of June 30th. Education fund, began the month at 4.3 million and ended the month at 4.5. Debt service, we had a zero balance to begin. We got our our June tax disbursement, that was 548,000. On this sheet, I realized that I paid both the debt service and the referendum debt service out of the same fund, so I'm gonna have to go back and do a transfer there to correct that. So right now, there is a negative 449,000 balance in debt service, but once I correct that, it will not. Referendum started at 163,000 for the month. Revenue of 771,000, ended at 935,000. Once I make that correction, it won't be that high. I don't know the exact figure of what I'll have to transfer, but I'll look at the two invoices and get that straightened out. Operations began at 112,000. Got the tax disbursement of 991,000, and we ended the month at 807,000. And rainy day started at 1.6 and ended at 1.5 and ended at 1.5. So that's all on the fund report. The action item I have is Mr. Brooks, Transportation Director, is asking you to declare bus 6, that's a 2013 IC school bus, as excess surplus property. If you declare that, we'll go through the process of auctioning it off. It's just the, one of the spares that we don't need, and he just like to get rid of it because he's not gonna put it back in commission.
Need a motion to declare that, bus 6 surplus.
I'll make that motion.
Kathy,
I'll second.
Michael, all in favor?
Thank you, that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Parks. Next, personnel, Mr. Jones.
All right, I have a lot of personnel this time of year. We've got the transfer of Elizabeth Fox from playground monitor to Title I aide. Hire Addie Williams, instructional assistant playground monitor. Hire Angela Doso, part-time cafeteria. Hire Peggy Ashley, part-time sub for cafeteria. And hire Shannon Sizemore, bus driver. I need a motion for all personnel.
Need a motion to approve personnel.
I'll make that motion.
Michael,
I'll second.
Kathy, all in favor? Motion carries 4-0. Superintendent's report, Mr. Jones.
All right, first we have the bus driver handbook. This is new to our corporation. We're adding just basic policy and procedures of our bus drivers. Nothing crazy out there. It's basically what the law of Indiana is. So I did send the handbook out to all of you last week. Did you, any of you have any questions on it? Okay, then I need a motion to adopt the bus driver handbook.
I'll make that motion.
Casey,
I'll second.
Michael, all in favor? 4-0.
Okay, thank you.
Neola.
Next, I have Neola updates. And again, Neola is a company that we contract with that keeps all of your policies, all board policies up to date. This past General Assembly, we had a lot of new laws and a lot of new updates. And the first board meeting, on this board meeting, we have 70 updates. I'm not going to read all the updates,
Oh, wow.
but they are on our website. If you go under board docs, you can look up all of our Neola policies and all of our school policies. This is the first reading. So our Neola updates are volume 37, number 2, and corporation updates July 2025. I did give the board a list of all 70 updates and kind of what they cover. But again, they're also under board docs on our school website. We do not need an action item, so that's the first reading. Next, I have update on our lockers that we talked about purchasing back in spring. It was a longer process than I thought it would be, but we do have a quote that I would like accepted. This is with JW Associates out of Evansville. This was ran through the Wilson Center, so it meets the laws of procurement and bids for the state of Indiana. New lockers for the middle high, and this covers everything, tearing out the old lockers, putting the new lockers in, includes locks. The final cost is $276,774.20. So I need a motion to accept this quote.
I'll make that motion.
Kathy,
I'll second.
Michael, all in favor? Motion carries 4-0 for the lockers.
Okay, thank you. Let me write that down before I forget. All right, a couple of important dates coming up. We have registration coming up next week in the high school cafeteria. So all grades will register in the high school cafeteria. July 29th is from 11 to 7. And July 30th is from 8 to 4. We ask that if you have moved or you're new to our school district, we will need a proof of residency. And that can be a lease, that can be a copy of electric bill, water bill, but we do need proof of residency. That's a law in Indiana. We also ask that you bring your insurance card because we are registering people for our new wellness clinic, the Healthy Eagle Clinic, which actually opened last week. We had our first patient. Again, this is a health clinic that will have a nurse practitioner full-time here at school. And this is, again, we will charge your insurance, but you will not be charged any money. We take care of any copay or any high deductible you may have. So it's actually free for all of our students and all of our staff. So that will be open first day of school. We do need everyone to fill a consent form and fill out the paperwork before they're eligible for it. So you can do that when you go register next week.
Do you have to do that in person or is that online?
Do we have that online yet?
Um,
They're working on it, but I don't think it's online yet.
I think the health clinic stuff has to be in person.
Okay.
I believe.
We're hoping that it will be online, but we're getting there. Elementary open house will be July 31st from 3 to 6. And we also will have teacher breakfast, the first teacher day, August 4th at 8 o'clock, and all board members are invited to our teacher breakfast.
What was that date?
What's that?
What was that date?
August 4th, Monday the 4th. And I have one action item that was added today under federal guidelines of the free lunch program that we are part of. We have to set a price if a student gets a second tray. And we also need to set a price for adults that have breakfast or lunch. Student breakfast for a second member of it's free. First breakfast, first lunch is free for all of our students. Student breakfast, if it's a second tray, will be $2 a tray. Student lunch for a second tray is $3. And our price for adult breakfast will be $3.75. Our price for adult lunch is $5, and any additional milk or juice is 75 cents. So I need a motion to approve the new prices.
Get a motion for the new lunch prices, second trays. Casey,
I'll second.
Michael, all in favor? Thank you.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, thank you, Mr. Jones. Next would be board comments and information. We'll start with you, Kathy.
I don't have anything. Sounds like everything's going as planned and looking forward to new school year and some teachers and students and wish everybody good luck.
Thank you. Sneaks up on us, which is
Yeah.
weird.
Yes, it does.
It's the same thing for me. I just wish everybody has a good school year and all the teachers getting back. I wish them the best.
Trevor took everything I was going to say this time. Don't have much.
You can say ditto, ditto.
Probably the only thing, I've seen a lot of people asking the supply list for the grades. So it's just anybody that's on Facebook. I've seen it on the elementary and middle school. So anybody that's needing that still. Hope all the kids had a great summer, and it did. It went by quick.
Oh, goodness.
Our next meeting will be in school for 2-3 weeks almost.
Almost 3 weeks.
So I wish all the teachers, the staff, and the students a smooth transition going back.
Thank you.
Thanks. Yep, wish everybody a good school year, and we miss Dave tonight. He's not with us in Hawaii, so want to make sure if you're out there, you
It's
heard
been
of that
kinda quiet,
breakfast.
hasn't it?
The breakfast is August the 4th. What time? He
8
won't miss
o'clock.
that.
He won't miss that.
He won't miss it. He'll be the first one in the door. That's all I have for comments. Once again, just everybody, hope you have a good school year. Future board meeting dates, Monday, August the 18th, and Monday, September the 15th, which is also a budget hearing, in addition with our regular meeting. So need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Kathy,
I'll second.
Michael, all in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.